All right, Charlotte time. So this is going to be another one of those one-take recording styles where I'm going to go over the method because the track temp is changing. And on this specific track temp, it's pretty hot. The top of 3 and 4 is better than the bottom, which I was very surprised to figure out as I was testing for this track here. So we're going to attempt a first lapper, but I'm pretty sure second lap is faster. But there's no issue in attempting first lap as long as you don't like half spin. So we're just going to try. I just can't get my power down as well on this out lap coming to the green. This isn't going to be too bad a speed. So this might work out, but I got to use a lot of trail brake to get this to stick to the bottom. So trail brake on the bottom. Yeah, you see how it didn't want to stick to the bottom there, so I'm losing a lot of time. I'm trying to get aggressive back on the throttle, but yeah, just not enough grip there for me to throttle up as early as I wanted to, and you can see that time loss. We need to be really aggressive. Okay, up top here, make sure not to slide your tires. I'm going to try to full throttle as early as possible, get that turn down so that I'm able to get back to the line here. And now let's see if I can get this to stick. So trail brake down the hill, get it to stick to the line, instantly back to the throttle. I'm going to start full throttle really early just to try to get the momentum. It drives back up the hill, pretty good speed. Can't complain too much about that. Now we're going to try for the top of 3 and 4. The whole point is to get out of the brake early and then get back in the gas almost instantly. Now it's going to want to come up to the wall towards the end here, so we want to turn it down, make sure it turns down the hill. It's going to get a little bit loose, but you can see that this is a pretty good lap. Now I think that lap I'm comparing to was a little bit cooler track temp as the session goes on, but let me show you an example of running the bottom 3 and 4 here. Tires should be fairly negligible actually. Look at that 1 and 2, very good 1 and 2 there. So that shows you I have good grip in the tires right now. So now let's run the bottom and compare what we ran to in the top. So we get it really good initially, getting loose, and then you see I just can't get it off the corner. You see, I mean I hit the wall there, but that time was always going to come back because of the run. I could not push the corner enough to where it wouldn't catch me back on the top. So I'm pretty sure at these hotter track temps, 102 is what the track temp is here, the top becomes better. So if you're above that 100 Fahrenheit, try that top and see if you're faster. If you're cool like in the 70s or 80s, the bottom is probably going to be better than the top. That's my guess. So let's take a look at this lap here. So very important to trail brake down the hill. So I transition from full throttle to half throttle, or sorry, I get off the throttle and then onto trail brake as I'm coming down the hill. And then I want to stick the car to this line right here, get my lefts right on the line. I don't know my right from my left. Haha. Right on that line, as close as you can get it. And then as you can get to stick to that line, you can get really aggressive on the throttle. See, I instantly went up to 70. And then I went to 100 from 70 pretty smoothly, and it sticks. If you go to 100 instantly, you're probably going to kick out the rear too much and slide your car. If you are only getting to like 50 or smoother instantly, you're going to leave some speed on the table. So really try to get to that 70-ish%, maybe 80%, just right off the rip on the throttle, as long as you can get that brake to stick to the bottom. Okay. 3 and 4, running the top. So the one thing that you want to avoid is overdriving the corner, because if you overdrive the corner, you're not back to the throttle as early. So So I like to get out of the gas before this line right here, because that kind of indicates to me when the corner starts. I want to be braking as I'm entering the corner, just a tiny trail brake, and I'm just trying to find that point where I can get back to that 70-ish% early. You can see I'm just holding that. The reason I'm holding it, not going to 100, I can go to 100 and have it stick, but the problem is I don't want it to just stick. This corner exit comes at you really quickly, so I want my car to angle down the hill. And my car angles down the hill if I wait a little bit longer to get to 100%. You can probably make 100% that whole way work. It's just a lot sketchier and a lot less likely all your tires can stick. But that's essentially my strategies, and then running bottom in 3 and 4 is really like running bottom of 1 and 2 if the track temperature allows you to. Just gotta trail brake until it sticks to that line, and then you get aggressive back on the throttle. You know you're too aggressive when you are getting back on the throttle and the car is sliding up the track loose, or sorry, tight, backwards. If you're getting on the throttle and it's tight, that means that you're getting too much throttle. All right, let's talk about long run now. So I'm going to abandon that top idea for the long run for now. It really feels decent in 3 and 4, but if you run the bottom correctly, it's going to be a lot better on your tires, especially to start out with before everything starts slipping off. So the whole point to long run is we're really wanting to utilize that trail brake as our rotation. In fact, I'm going to lower it all the way down to 57 like I said before. But I want to do a little bit of trail brake here, just be really patient. We don't want to slide up too much. You see, that was even more than I want to slide up, but that was because I didn't use enough wheel entering the corner, and that's probably why it was slower as well. So a little bit shallower of an entry just so that I don't have to deal with the banking as much, and then brake to throttle transfer should really slide me minimally up. That exit of 4 is really evil. I got to keep in mind on it. I think that you can get some easy track position early by running top of 3 and 4. 1 and 2, I just did not find much success in. That first lap on cold tires is also really slow, so be careful in your race run. Maybe warm your tires a little bit up on outlap, swerving, using a little bit of brake drag, but everything sticks a lot more on the second lap. Even the evil exit I can full throttle through. And as long as I get my angle with my trail brake on entry, it's not doing anything to my tires. You know that your line is bad for your tires if, let's say, I get on the throttle right here. You see how my car trends downwards towards the line instead of moving up the track? That's how you know that it's good on tires. If I was moving up the track under throttle, that's how you know it's bad on tires for the right front. So when I talk about bad on tires in the context like Charlotte and ARCA car, it's very right front heavy. Except when I slide my rear like that. You don't want to do that either. I keep talking about that evil exit of 4 and then keep forgetting about it. You want the wheel to be as straight as possible over that bump, that loose part of 3 and 4. Don't be afraid to be aggressive on back to your throttle as long as your trail braking did everything that you needed it to do. So smooth-ish out of the throttle, brake until you stick to the line. And you see I lost about a tenth there because I was braking and I just needed to keep braking or else I would have gotten tight under throttle. The most common mistake people make at tracks like this that wear their tires is they just do the same thing they did the previous lap, and it causes them to overdrive a corner, make mistakes on their tires, and it all compounds really quickly. So you just got to be proactive. You got to say, okay, I'm going to lose a little bit of time here, especially as the tires fall off on mile and a halves. But you see right there, I was able to get to the throttle earlier because my car was sticking. And if you want your car to stick earlier, well, brake earlier. It's really diligent about not overdriving the corner. Like, let's say I overdrive the corner here. I'm going to overdrive it on purpose. Look at, I gained time there, and this corner is actually not going to be the slowest thing ever. But because I overdrove the corner, and I had to use more wheel to keep it from sliding up to the wall. Whereas here, I'll just brake, keep it down on the bottom. Maybe might not be the fastest thing in the world. I'm actually going to go straight over the bump this time so it doesn't kill me. But there we go. Now, as we transition late in the race, more grooves become available. I'm a big proponent of staying at the bottom the entire time, but we can't neglect the top. So the top is all about getting to the throttle as early as possible. So you can see even right here, pretty fast, right? And you know what? On this track temperature, that's a pretty significant amount of time. There might be people that try to make this outside groove work for the entire race. I'm not one of those that is very good at it, but you cannot deny this lap time. So as we explore a little bit for what this track temperature has to offer us, and you should be too, hey, maybe we're going to be forced to run top this whole race. But I just in general think that if you can run the bottom, it'll save your tires. It's just, in an actual race setting, your best tires isn't always the most important thing. The most important thing is what position you finish. So sometimes you have to make those sacrifices, keep some track position by running hard. Do one more lap on the top here. This is way faster than I was expecting. But it's all about not overdriving the seat. This is what happens when I overdrive like this. So you see when I get back to the throttle, I'm already losing time, and I had to use more steering wheel. Whereas let's do 3 and 4 here, where I brake really early and get back on the throttle really early. Lost a little bit on the entry, but look at the speed I'm able to carry. And it's really stable too. So you know what? Now let's do one more bottom line. See how this compares. Brake on the bottom. Yeah, you can just dive the top so much better. Okay. So, and this is why we do this, right? This is why we experiment. I don't think the tires that you save on the bottom of the track are worth 0.3 of a second per lap. I really don't think so. I think that it's close enough. I think that you'll probably have 1/10 of a second better tires for the last 10 laps, but that's not going to make up all the time of losing 1/4 of a second for your first 10, 20 laps. So it's all about doing the math equation and who you're racing around. I think that being aggressive up top at the beginning might actually pay off if you can get the track position out of it. But if you're able to save on the bottom and keep people in front of you close enough to you, then that's when you're going to come back at the end. So it's all a game. I can't say do one specific thing because one specific thing is not always going to work. 96, 95. So if we're wearing the right rear by running the top, this even tells me more that running the top is going to be better in the long run. So we learned something here. It depends on the track temperature. I think try the top. It's all about getting back to the throttle earlier. It's all about not overdriving the corner. And it's about being aggressive, getting back to the throttle so that you can take advantage of that momentum. But other than that, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all on the track.